Welcome to this art film. My name's Jamila Walker and I'm a visual artist. I hope you enjoy the film.
So for this activity, you're going to need some paper, ideally watercolour paper, but if you don't have any, that's fine. Also some watercolour paint, some water, some brushes, and something to draw with. So pencils, biros, felt tips, whatever you feel comfortable with. Also, it might be nice to have a little bit of tissue paper in case you want to blot off any extra water. The theme of this film is pattern. So first of all, I'd like us to look around the space we're in, whether that's our garden, our home, the park, and look out for repeated patterns. There's patterns in nature everywhere. This pattern is from some net curtains. Why I especially like working with pattern is because the starting point can be very simple. A simple shape or a mark that you've made on a piece of paper with some ink or some paint, whatever material you're feeling happy with, and you repeat that many times and you can come up with something very satisfying. I hope you enjoy this activity. So this is my warm-up activity. I'm just doing a few repeated patterns using very simple shapes like dashes, rectangles, triangles. So I'd like you to fill a page with lots of different random shapes and create your own mini patterns. So this would be a good point to pause the film and take part in this activity at your leisure. So hopefully you're feeling creatively warmed up. This is our opportunity now to find 1 to 2 things in the area that you're in that you like the pattern of, and we'll use these items for some inspiration later. It's time to start painting. First of all, I'm going to prep my paper with a very thin wash of water in the areas that I plan to put paint on. So here are my well-loved and well-used watercolour paints. So have fun and experiment with the paint. I'm laying down a background that is a little translucent because of the water and the watercolour paints, and I would like to blend 2 colours together that I think complement each other. So I've decided to go for a green that blends in gently to a blue. So the thing with watercolour is that you need to build up colour. So it might be really tempting to start with lots and lots of colour, but it works better and you have a lot more control if you very slowly let colours build up and let things dry, and then you get more choice. So I'm doing another panel here and I'm slowly building up some orange, and it's going to bleed very nicely into some yellow. So be experimental with the colours. See what colours you like together, mix your own colours. I'm going to insert a colour wheel in this video so that you can see what colours clash with each other. So the colours opposite each other on the colour wheel are the ones that clash with each other, and there's also colours that are next to each other that complement each other on the colour wheel. So experiment with your techniques, with the brushes you use, with the amount of water, have fun, and then let it dry, and then we're going to add some pattern. this is a colour wheel. The colours that are directly opposite each other are sort of called clashing colours, and they bring out the intensity and the pigment in each other. So colours that are opposite each other on this wheel are orange and turquoise and red and green. So you might want to pause the video here to help you make your colour selections when you're painting your background. To give you a wider range of colours from your paint palette, you can mix some colours so that you have perhaps more greener turquoises or lighter yellows. So this still shows you the formulas to create your own colours. So if you mix red and blue, you'll make a purple. If you mix slightly more blue than red, you'll get a darker purple. And you might want to pause the video here so that you can make some colour selections using this information. So my first pattern is inspired by my thumb piano, and the metal prongs are what I'm going to use to influence my pattern. So I'm drawing these sporadically over my orange blended into yellow painted background. I'm using felt tips, but I'm also going to later use a black fine liner to add a bit of extra texture and a bit of extra depth. The second item I've decided to use is this Eiffel Tower statue that I got in Paris, and I really like the crosses on them. So I'm repeating that pattern onto my blue and green background, which took about 20 minutes to fully dry, the paint did. So here are my finished designs. They're very simple and they remind me of items that I hold dear. I might decide to make them into some wrapping paper, or put on a card, or simply leave in my sketchbook. Or they could even be framed and you could give it as a gift to somebody. I hope you enjoy designing your own patterns. The possibilities are endless. Bye bye.